With this Mercedes-AMG GT 4-door 63 4MATIC Plus model, the three-pointed star maker's Affalterbach sub-brand has produced its first unique four-door design, and it's quite an achievement. Here you're going to see the industry's most detailed film on this hugely impressive flagship AMG contender.
So what might the most powerful mainstream production model in Mercedes history be like to drive? Well, it's savagely quick, of course. This top 639 horsepower S model generates 900 Newton meters of torque and gets to 62 miles an hour in just 3.2 seconds en route to 196 miles an hour. While the alternative 585 horsepower standard variant is almost as quick. The acceleration times assume you're using the provided race start mode in the 9-speed speed shift MCT AMG Auto gearbox, which comes with perfectly sighted steering wheel paddle shifters and software that blips the throttle on downshifts to the evocative accompaniment of popping and banging from the switchable AMG performance exhaust system. What's even more impressive than the straight line speed, though, is the way that the various chassis and drivetrain systems have been developed to interact in such a sophisticated manner. There are plenty of these, of course, including torque vectoring and handling features developed specifically to improve the cornering stability and traction of this car, including an actively locking rear axle differential and rear wheel steering that turns the back wheels slightly in the same direction as the fronts at higher speeds. Another thing you don't get on a GT two-door is this car's 4MATIC Plus four-wheel drive system, which usually channels drive to the rear wheels, with those at the front called into action on the occasions, which will be frequent if you're pushing on, when all that torque twist is too much for the rears to handle on their own. This S variant also features an extra drift mode for track use that disconnects the clutch from the front wheels to allow for lurid, power-sliding circuit drifts. Drift mode only works in the most extreme setting that this model's incorporated AMG Dynamic Select drive program system can offer, a race mode that's also exclusive to the S variant as part of an AMG Dynamic Plus package that additionally includes dynamic engine mounts, which enhance performance by reducing powertrain vibrations. The other selectable Dynamic Select options, Comfort, Slippery, Sport and Sport Plus, are common to both GT four-door models and, as you would expect, influence throttle response, gear shift timings, steering, exhaust note and stability settings. Plus, they include integrated AMG Dynamics handling programs, which have a lot to do with the sublime chassis and drivetrain interaction we mentioned earlier. The balance here has clearly been chosen to favour track behaviour rather than ordinary urban or highway use. But this car is still an eminently usable commuting tool or transcontinental luxury GT when you need it to be. This S version manages up to 22.1 mpg on the WLTP combined cycle and up to 257 grams per kilometre of NEDC rated CO2. One look at this car is enough to convince you of the seriousness of its intent. The front end certainly offers the required level of overtaking presence, courtesy of a broad, wide shark nose that sees carbon fibre trimmed multi-beam LED headlights flank a full Pan America-style vertically slatted AMG grille. And in profile, well, it's certainly a lot more of a four-door coupe than is the CLS, aided to some extent by the fact that despite its name, this car is actually a hatchback rather than a saloon. The roofline sweeps back more aggressively than that sister model, and the glasshouse is longer and wider. Okay, time to take a seat at the wheel. It's certainly not much like an AMG GT two-door, rather than a low-slung seating position that sees you peering out of a letterbox windscreen at a bonnet stretching into the distance. It really feels more like a sportily trimmed CLS or an E-Class in here. The key differences, though, lie with these grippy sports seats, this AMG Performance flat-bottomed 3-spoke wheel, and this so-called AMG Drive Unit lower console. This delivers configurable buttons for the car's key dynamic features and incorporates both a tiny AMG gear stick and a touchpad for the Command Online media system. This controls the infotainment part of the car's widescreen cockpit display that, as usual with a luxury Mercedes these days, sees two high-resolution 12.3-inch screens shunting together beneath a bonded glass cover. The right one is a virtual instrument display, which can be configured with a bespoke AMG Supersport single-dial layout focusing on a large rev counter incorporating a digital speedo. This is perfect for track driving, which is when you'll also want to use the second screen's AMG Track Pace feature. This is a lap timer and telemetry system that can not only record your circuit times, but also analyse data and help you to improve them. Time to take a look in the rear, access through these wide, frameless doors. Once you're in place back here, it's not actually too bad in terms of space to spread out. Legroom aided by the particularly slim front seats with their scalloped knee-level cutouts. There are actually 3 possible rear seat packages available. The standard one gives you 2 separate non-foldable chairs, or there's an expensive rear luxury lounge package which gives you 2 separate and foldable seats separated by a broad, exquisitely trimmed centre console which houses an infotainment screen and switches for a separate climate zone. Unless you're a boardroom type buyer, though, we think you'll prefer the versatility of the 3-person rear bench we have here. Let's move round to the tailgate. As you'd expect, it rises electrically and, of course, will do so with a wave of your foot beneath the bumper if need be. A large, if rather shallow, cargo area is then revealed, 456 litres in size. If you need more space, cargo sidewall buttons fold the backrests of this bench seat to reveal 1,324 litres of storage room. If AMG had merely added weight, size, power and complexity to its GT sports car to create this top 4-door model, the results might have been impressive, but ultimately it would have been unsatisfying. The name of this car suggests that approach, but thankfully the sublime execution here is very different. It may not have the lottery-winning looks of its 2-door sports car showroom stablemate, but it'll be a darn sight easier to live with. Not only is it more accommodating, but it'll look after you better when you're pushing on or when conditions might be slippery. Yet it can still reward your inner F1 fantasies better than any other rival should you ever take it on track. It is quite simply an immense achievement and a remarkable piece of engineering.